China announced a highly ambitious vision of the Silk Road and Economic Belt and 21st Maritime Silk Road. And I believe that it aims to synergize development strategies of various countries and strengthen international cooperation for shared prosperity in Asia, Europe, and beyond. And in case of Korea, Korea is also pursuing its own Northeast Asia plus community of responsibility and new southern policy, and recently East Asia Railway Community. Japan has actively deployed its own global diplomacy and the Indo-Pacific strategy. Three countries eventually can formulate some common grand strategy by complementing each other. I believe that in order to push forward trilateral cooperation in a sustainable way, we need a top-down approach as well as a bottom-up approach. As far as top-down approach is concerned, if you look at the map of Northeast Asia region, we can realize that this region has never experienced the multilateral, permanent multilateral consultative mechanism, not only to deal with issues of common interest, but also to address some regional conflicts among the neighboring countries. Without the political support and commitment coming from top leaders, it is really difficult to maintain the momentum for trilateral cooperation. As far as the bottom-up approach is concerned, three countries are located very closely each other as neighboring countries. So due to this kind of the geographical proximity and the common cultural background, make people from three countries closer and closer. As far as negative aspect is concerned, such as a historical issue, territorial dispute, but more fundamentally, due to the different geopolitical perspective, some strong sense of rivalry or some the hegemonic power struggle in this region. So when we compare these positive and negative forces at this moment, we have to admit that, unfortunately, these negative force prevail over positive one. But we should not be discouraged so much, because this positive force is very resilient and irrevocable. Nobody cannot stop that. So when we continue to accumulate this positive force and someday transcend this positive force, and then making a paradigm shift possible someday from mistrust and confrontation to trust and cooperation. Three countries are really working very hard to conclude FTA and negotiation as possible as can. But three countries, the ultimate goal of this conclusion of successful conclusion of trilateral FTA is to realize the very comprehensive and mutually beneficial and the high level one. But the three countries have different perspective depending on the development of their own economy. But recently, three countries completed 15 rounds of the negotiation. So it may take time, but finally, within a short period of time, I think three countries may successfully conclude this the long-standing negotiation. Some pessimist, maybe down-to-earth realist, tends to focus on the denuclearization process, saying that the devil is always in the detail. But the other, the optimist, believe that sooner or later they are going to establish the permanent peace regime on the Korean Peninsula. So it is, I think, necessary to harmonize these different perspective. We should be kind of the realistic optimist, and I also we should not lose sight of a big picture.